Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Eccentric Mind Podcast with your host, George Hernandez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Dude, I just got slapped in the face with this harsh realization or this profound realization in this lesson that I just learned. Honestly, if you're in this entanglement where you feel stuck or you feel lost, or there's this combustion, or you feel like you're in a knot based on your actions, or your mind feels like it's in a knot, this giant knot that you can't seem to untangle, open up a sheet of paper, empty, blank, and write on it. Or open up a Notion document and talk about what it is that you're struggling with, because after a certain amount of time, after toiling, playing, messing around with the ideas, talking about what it is that you're facing, you begin to make clear the situation that you're dealing with and figure out a response and how you're going to move forward. That gives you so much more profound clarity as a result. Dude, I've been all over the place. I've been trying to do everything all at once, which is just my nature for some reason. Every single time I am going through a particular process, I try to squeeze in every single crevice, every single time, every single position, everything into one day. How could I do everything all at once and make progress towards that one thing? And it's something that I do frequently, which is put myself into 4 separate vehicles and try to go 1 mile at a time, where I'm actually, if I really think about what my priority is right now, it's to step into one vehicle and go 4 miles as opposed to 1 mile in 4 different directions. I do this so frequently and I do it so often. But at this moment, I realize I've been in a fucking split between 2 halves of George. One that is regimented, structured, and in a routine, trying to further reinforce myself into the person that I already know that I am. Whereas another version of me is trying to step into a completely different state. But here I am trying to do all of them at once, whereas one calls upon all of my intention, all of my attention, all of my focus, all of my energy. But yet here I am just trying to squeeze in all of them at once, where I've been feeling tired, like super fatigued and so out of place and so drained of all of my energy. And it's because I'm trying to do 2 identities at once, which is one where, okay, I created this new weekly routine for my training where I'm more so focused on strength building. And at the moment, it's good, but it doesn't feel as though it's the right time. It's just not the season for me to be focused on my training. Obviously, health, gym, prioritize your training as much as you physically can and as much as you possibly can, because it's a blessing to be able to move, to function, to run, to jump, to lift. At the same time, though, it's not the season for that. You need to start asking yourself, and I'm literally talking to myself at this moment, I'm not talking to anybody else. You need to ask yourself, what the fuck is your priority at this given time? If your priority is to train, if your priority is to build muscle, if your priority is to get lean, then put all of your intention, attention, and focus on that specific endeavor, on that goal. You're not trying to figure out how much you can drink or try to build a community of people. You're focused on your body. But if that's not the main priority and you're trying to figure out what it is, like I'll just be completely honest, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, but I'm moving to Austin. I'm moving to Austin, Texas in about 30 days or so. I already put in my notice, but here I am trying to split my identity into separate halves, making myself so thin, trying to make everything happen all at once. But here I am distancing myself from the opportunity, or distancing myself from the person that ultimately gets to Austin. If you think about this in the transformation process of you as a person trying to become someone new, you need to understand what you're doing, change the things that you're doing, because what you're doing at this given time is leading you to the same outcomes, some where you're unsatisfied. So you need to change the things that you're doing, but you first need to be aware of what you're doing in the first place to be able to change them into things that you want to do that lead you to the type of outcome that you want most. Well, right now I'm still training, cold plunging, sauna, stretching, running, biking, sledding, pushing sleds, lifting 3 times a week, compounds, blah, 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 blah. But here I am not putting as much intention or attention or focus onto moving to fucking Austin because I'm still trying to do everything all at once. Whereas if I just dropped 3 or 4 days of training and put more of my effort into having a soft land into Austin, then I'll be able to have more focus, more intention and attention on moving to Austin, but at the same time, podcasting, content, personal brand. It's literally on my fucking whiteboard right there. It's telling me what my project is, what my main number one priority is. And here I am trying to squeeze in something that is not actually the main priority. I'm already in the best shape of my life. Why? I will be okay. I will be okay going a month, 2 months without training. Not saying that I'm not going to fucking train, because obviously I will, but I'm not going to put in as much. It's not the season to get a bigger back. It's not the season to get stronger. It's not the season to be pushing a sled and trying to figure out how long you can stay inside of a cold plunge. It's not the season for that. It's the season for integration, for setting up the process for even more transformation. Sure, I'm aware of what I like right now, but that's not going to go away, because once I go to Austin, I can figure out, okay, I can go back and squeeze out the things that I genuinely enjoy doing. It is not the season to be focusing on a bigger back. It is not the season to try to get stronger. It is not that season. I need to start integrating myself into the person that is capable of standing in Austin. But if I'm still trying to integrate new protocols, new training, new attributes, new aesthetics into the city that I'm currently involved in, then I won't be able to have the opportunity to step into a new state, one I desire to be in, because I'm still doing the same things over and over again, thinking that things are going to change. But if I continuously revel inside of this protocol in trying to train 5 times out of the week and find myself into a gym 7 hours out of the week, then those 7 hours can be put into going to Austin and gives me more of an opportunity to get myself there in the first place. So my question to you is, and this is literally me talking to me, I don't know when I'm going to post this. I don't know if I'm ever going to post this, or honestly, maybe I'll post this once I'm in Austin, or maybe I'll post this because honestly, I don't like talking about my plans or my actions, especially not to, honestly, 20 people are probably watching this, but I love you anyway. It just makes sense. And it completely unraveled the knot that I have inside of my head, because I've been a split version of George. I've been a split version of one who's trying to optimize his physical state, whereas another one is trying to optimize his living state. You can't possibly make progress in one direction if your body, mind, and state are focused on 2 different directions. And that is the most whopping lesson that I've had straight up jabbed into my face, is you need to stop being the person that you are right now at this given moment, one who's stretching himself out so thin to be able to make progress in different avenues, and focus on what's your main priority, which is my main priority at this moment is to move to Austin, and it's going to fucking happen. I just need to stop putting so much attention on something that's going to keep me here and put more focus and attention on what's going to get me out there, because I can always train, make protocols, make regiments out there, but I would prefer having thinner arms, a less of a wide back, and a bigger waist in Austin, being able to put in all of my focus on getting back into the position that I want to be in, than having bigger arms, having 0.5 size the back that I want in Moreno Valley. And that is such a profound lesson that I just learned. And it's all by literally opening up Notion and having a blank page staring back at me with all of the words inside of me that I have yet been able to speak up about. And fuck, that feels reaffirming, because I have this guilt or this sensation that I'm not doing good enough, or that I could be doing better, or that I'm losing momentum, that I'm not staying as consistent as I told myself that I would, that if I don't show up, it's more likely that I'm going to stop showing up altogether, and that my discipline is going to run itself dry, that I'm not going to be able to be the person that I want to be if I don't show up, that I need to be disciplined and motivated and consistent. And it's just that inner confidant at the back of my ear telling me to do the thing anyway, even though I've realized that doing the thing anyway causes me more harm than it does good. And I think we're actually starting to age and mature furthermore, where I'm realizing that rest is actually the most optimal state that you can possibly partake in. Not beating yourself up, not pushing, but following the pull is probably more nuanced and advantageous and better for your recovery, better for your state of mind, and better for your health overall than trying to get more chips. Because I think of it in the sense of, I always think about it, for some reason, poker, trying to get the most chips that you possibly can. But what if the purpose of the game is to stay in the game for as long as you can? Because the one who stays in the game longer ultimately wins. But the person that has the most chips for the least amount of time loses. So what is it that you want? Do you want to stay in the game for as long as you can, or do you want to accrue the most chips and have more chips than people around you, just to ultimately lose those chips at the end of the round? Or, like I said, stay in the game for as long as you can. Wow, I think I just unlocked my frontal lobe right there. It makes so much sense, and I think the caffeine is really starting to hit right now, where it just feels profound. It feels super invigorating, and like I just had some aura points because I just aged like 10 days because of this podcast episode, and because I wrote down, I think I just aged like a month right now. It makes so much fucking sense. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Wow. All this time I was thinking it's about consistency. It's about discipline. It's about, grinding your teeth. It's about showing up regardless of how you feel. But I think it's less about that. I think it's more about staying in the game for as long as you possibly can, even if it means taking a day off and recovering. I've been a strong advocate for resting, but when you're in these cycles, when you're in these good rhythms where things are efficient, you're making progress, you feel this confidant inner sense of self telling you to work even harder. And I think you have more discipline as a man or as a woman or as a person that's trying to make progress towards a specific endeavor. You have more discipline as a person by shutting off that inner sense of self telling you to do more, because you fully understand that trying to do more causes you more harm than it does good. Then it causes progress, etc., etc. Yeah. Discipline is not about showing up regardless of how you feel. Discipline might just be about understanding how you feel, understanding how much progress you make, understanding that your focus, your energy, and how much energy you produce in a given state of time. Not only that, but how much better you are when you have 8 hours of sleep, how much better you are when you eat these types of foods, how much better you are when you don't go to the gym this day, how much better you are when you don't decide to run on this day, how much better you are when you decide not to cold plunge because you understand you need to be up at a certain time, and that doing that won't add any more progress or focus into your mind. It's understanding how you function as a person and what you need, because anything that is outside of your needs and expectations, you no longer need to partake in, because you understand it's not about discipline. You're not being disciplined adding on more. You're actually more disciplined by understanding who you are, what accumulates to your better sense of self, but also understanding that you don't need to partake in those activities because it's not doing you any favors. It's causing you harm, and you already understand you as a person in totality, what it is that you need in order to make progress in the direction that you want to make progress in. Bro, I am aging. I am aging. This is crazy. This is like the best podcast ever. And I love and I miss so dearly these podcast episodes when it's just off the top of my dome, whenever I just learned something, whenever I figured something out. And I don't know, I feel like I get more show notes or more timestamps in these episodes because it's just raw. It's just authentic. It's just me speaking off the top of my dome. No script, no, just hit with this avalanche of information, and it just blows my mind, dude. It just blows my mind. I can't believe this. Yeah. We have a lot of shit going on, dude. We have a lot of shit going on. And it feels good to understand what my next steps are now, because right before, I don't know, like 11, like today I was going to go to the gym, but I had to tell myself not to, because yesterday I tried to go to the gym, tried to do the shit anyway, push through this. And I did 5 pull-ups and was like, I don't have it in me today. I don't have any vigor. I have no capacity to be able to push myself in any way. Whereas before I'd be able to do 8 pull-ups with this amount of weight on. And I'm only able to do 5 right now. Like, there's something completely wrong. I slept in today. Usually I have this issue with sleeping in, whereas before, like, if I slept in, I was considering myself a failure. But I got 10 hours of sleep. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I feel much better about myself. I just unraveled the knot inside of my head between my actions and how I think. And now I have so much more clarity in moving forward in my life and how I want to pursue my goals, what intentions and what attention I should be focused on, what my priorities are as a person and as a future personal brand. Like, everything fucking makes sense, and it's because I skipped the gym today. Whereas if you really look at most of these online platforms, they're telling you to just go anyway. And I used to be such an advocate for just going anyway. But I think it's just all about understanding you as a person and what your priorities are at this given moment. If you have 90 days and you want to get into the best physical shape possible in those 90 days, then you need to set away clearly, prevent the things that are going to prevent you from making the type of progress that you want to make, and solely focus on that thing because it's your number one priority. But if your main attention and main focus is to move to a different state, then you need to also get rid of the things that are preventing you from getting to that state. And sometimes it's often you who is so accustomed and acclimated to the type of habits and the actions and the things that you do on a regular basis that is actually hindering you from the position that you want to get to, even though you may feel like it's helping you grow. But in totality, in actuality, in reality, it's in a way hindering your ability to get to the position that you want to get to. So I have a lot of things to think about, and I'm glad I've stepped away from social media for the last 3 days or so. I haven't really been on TikTok. I haven't been on Instagram or YouTube, and in a way it's just been back to me. And I think it's very crucial and important to just get back to yourself, because so often we're influenced by the things that we see on a regular basis, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the social medias, and we are seeing other people live out their life and them telling us and giving us advice that is uncalled for, something that we didn't need, but we're influenced by it, even if it may not be completely aligned with the person that we want to be. And sometimes it's so unfortunate to have all of these influences infiltrating your thoughts, infiltrating your actions, infiltrating all the things that you do on a regular basis. And it's important for you to step away from that so that way you can fully understand what your actual priority and what your purpose is in this day. So, action steps for you: step away from social media for a bit, think, write onto a blank sheet of paper if you feel like there's an entanglement inside of your head, like this grand knot that can't seem to be unknotted, and ask yourself what's your main priority at this given moment, and what you're doing at this moment. Is it getting you closer to making that priority actualize, or is it hindering you from the position that you want to be in? And if that's the state you're in, then there's no greater clarity than understanding that you're holding yourself back, because now you're fully aware of what's holding you back, and you can begin making changes to get yourself back on the path to actualize the goal, the outcome that you want most. So I hope this helped. I hope you understood this. And this was actually fucking awesome. This also helps me in a way because, like, I'm trying to soft land in Austin. I don't want to have to worry about podcasting or content when I'm trying to move into Austin. I am just trying to focus on Austin in and of itself and getting my furniture and understanding what's around me and grocery shopping and gyms and coffee shops and jobs, all this good stuff. So this podcast helps a lot in helping me identify that, but also helps me in the fact that I get another podcast to schedule, so that way I don't have to worry about, okay, what's the podcast for this week, when I'm still trying to figure out what bed I'm going to use in my apartment. Fuck, feels good. I'm going to just sit with this one for a little bit. And if I have any closing remarks, I'll let you know. But yeah, I appreciate you. For the 25 people that are watching this every month or listening to this every month, we have a lot of great things coming. And yeah, I say that with fucking confidence that we have great things coming. And I'm just blessed. I'm completely grateful for the position that I'm in. I'm grateful for the person that I am. I'm grateful for the people that are around me that are supporting me throughout this process. Not many people know about this whole Austin ordeal, and they will understand and they will know once it comes. But to the people that are genuinely supporting me, to the people that have their best interests or my heart in their best interests, I wholeheartedly appreciate you. To the people that are listening and getting some value and are impacted by the things that they hear on this podcast, feel free to talk to me. Feel free to send a message. Maybe if you ever have any questions, feel free to let me know. I just want to make an impact. I want to provide you a new perspective or provide you some awareness that you didn't have prior to, or because when I was in this process myself, when I was trying to identify what it is that I want to be in this world, or trying to understand the man that I want to be, I didn't have anybody in my position to help me get to the position that I wanted to get to. So it was this long period of time, very fucking long, and it still kind of is that way. Luckily, unfortunately, I've met a lot of people that are on the path too, so it helps me identify and understand myself furthermore on my way towards the position that I want to get to. But if you are, I just, a lot of banging my head against the wall. So I understand what it's like to not have somebody who thinks like you in this world, to not have somebody have your best interests at heart and you having their best interest at heart, to be diplomatic when everybody wants to be cynical, to be positive when everyone wants to be negative. It's a beautiful challenge, because I read this thing yesterday, actually. I'm going to just pull it up real quick. Carl Jung said it, or C.S. Lewis said it, or no. Yeah. I don't know who said this. What a blessing it is to be tired in the pursuit of a challenge of your own choosing. What a blessing it is to be tired in the pursuit of a challenge of your own choosing. Fuck. That's so good. That's so fucking good. And God, if I could do this for free every day, I would. It's just the coolest thing that I could possibly do. And I have no intention on stopping this. And I want to just help as much as I could and provide a perspective as much as I could. And if you listen to this, if you actually listen to this, I wholeheartedly appreciate you. You are a freaking jewel, a gem. And yeah, let's just keep making growth. Let's just keep getting better and becoming more understanding, self-understanding of ourselves, but also more self-aware. So that way, hopefully, we can make some form of impact in the way that we want to. And yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. All right. This has been the Eccentric Mind podcast with George Hernandez. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you another day. Also, if you guys have, feel free to subscribe, comment, like on the channel so that way you can get updated for upcoming podcast episodes. We have so much more coming up. Feel free to check it on Spotify or YouTube. And yeah, if this helped you and you know somebody else who's also resonating with this entire ordeal themselves, feel free to share it so that way we can make as much impact to anybody else that we possibly can. I appreciate you dearly, and I hope you have a fantastic day.